Good morning, everyone. Glad to be here with you. As was announced, I come from Concrete VC, but first, a little bit about me. I've spent nearly 20 years in construction, real estate development, asset management, investment, many countries around the world. And so, like others here, I come from a different environment, different background than what I'm doing now, but I think I bring to this now, venture capital, a different perspective. I bring that hands-on. I've done it. I've built something. I've developed it. And so we are Concrete VC. We're a proptech-focused venture capital firm based here in London. Proptech is all we do. But first, as I start, I want to talk to you a little bit about VC in general. There's a little bit of a history lesson. Those of you can see the circles up here and the names. VC, as we know it, kind of started in the Bay Area in California. You can see some of the relative size circles there of some of the well-known funds that we've had in the past, Andreessen Horowitz, Greylock, Sequoia, and you can see the size that they have put into VC over the years for their funds. I've put there other funds, real estate funds, because we're talking about tech and real estate here, and I want to give you a relationship between some of these larger size funds that have been started by Blackstone, Goldman, KKR, TPG. And then something drastic happened. The 800-pound gorilla entered the room, and that is SoftBank, who have really disrupted what we know as the VC. And that's why the title there of VCs are shaking in their boots. We have seen what SoftBank has done change the industry. Even more so, approximately 30% of SoftBank's fund is put into proptech. Some of those are fairly large, but if you take that compared to some of the large real estate and even VC funds, we can see a huge impact that SoftBank is having on the industry. So I give you that to put it into context of the disruption that we're seeing, not just in tech, but in VC. Let me talk to you a little bit about VC. As a VC, I want to share with you 4 things that we look at when we talk to a startup. The first is market. Is it a big market? Is it something that we feel will grow? Well, is real estate? Yes. There you can see in orange, global real estate and commercial real estate, larger than the global money supply and securitized debt. So I would dare say that it is a large market, something that we can get behind. And it's there for the taking. Here I've put 2 lines, a blue and an orange, of the venture capital put into 2 different sectors, fintech and proptech. You can see the increase from about $2 billion in 2010 from fintech up to today. You can see the increase in proptech. This was as of last year, from about $2 billion to just under 13. What's interesting is the trajectory. It took 4 years for fintech to go from 2 to about 13, and it took proptech to do the same in about 2 years. And we know that because of the size of what we're talking about. Global real estate is huge. The second thing that we look at are stories. Not just the market, but is there traction? Is there something interesting happening in the market? What I've shown here are 6 verticals within the real estate property world, and companies who have started disrupting those areas. You can see some of the ones that we've talked about today. Airbnb, larger than many hotel brands. WeWork, now the largest occupier in Manhattan. Compass, taking almost $500 million from SoftBank. Amazon, 44% of U.S. e-commerce, but recently, as we've heard, also investing in a modular home builder, sensor company, doorbells, thermostats. So they are making an entrance into proptech as a tech company. Uber, not just our rides, but maybe delivery. And lastly, Katera, $800 million investment from SoftBank to disrupt construction in the U.S. So what do we do about it? This is concrete. we take all of that information, we take what we view as happening in the industry, and we have deal flow. We want to see startups. We like to meet new startups, and as we meet them, we have this funnel that we effectively put them through. We take that deal flow, we analyze and determine which of those interesting startups we want to talk to further. We then conduct due diligence on some of those, ultimately take some to investment committee, and then we have a portfolio of investments that we have invested in. But that's not all, because it's not just that we can provide one side of the equation. We believe that you can't just be capital to put into this industry. The industry is big, and the industry needs someone to help them get traction into it, which is why we work with strategic partners. Here I've listed some that we have entered into relationships with in major sectors within the property industry. Leaders in their own fields. Seed Camp in startups. JLL as a real estate services partner. Lockton in insurance. Hammerson in retail. Fora as a workspace partner. Clifford Chance, who has just recently been added in legal, and Vinci, very new, for construction. And what do? Well, we take our deal flow, and they provide real estate expertise. When we look at them, and both when we are working with those startups, we then can go to someone like JLL, or if it's a construction context startup, work with Vinci to advise on how best they can get into the market. And in return, we can provide insights and introductions for the startups that we meet to this group. It's a wonderful opportunity to meet with a startup and we say, you have a great product. We'd like to make introductions to our partner network and see if we can get you throughout their network in the world. We've done that in probably 40 times, and we have a number of commercial trials now running. Oh, let me just make one more comment. The other two things that we do, in addition to looking at market and stories, is we look at founders. Are the founders good? Can you build a company the way your business plan says that you will? And lastly, tech. Yes, you have a great idea, but do you have good tech? Is it defensible? Can you take it where it needs to go? And so what's hot? Let me just show you a couple of these areas that we're looking at. Flexible. We've talked about some of these here today. Flexible everything, retail, office, and industrial, which is becoming more and more prevalent. Data. We've talked about data a lot today. Geophi, Measurable, and Coyote are just some examples. Mobile apps, District, InfraSpeak, and Clevio, some that we have looked at. And then lastly, efficiency in construction, which is near and dear to my heart, having spent many years in the construction industry. Here I've also put up, in each of these, I've put at least one that we've invested in. We have in our portfolio Hubble, Measurable, District, and BuildSafe. And so I would be remiss to end without mentioning at least something about construction, because that's my background. Some would argue Contech, which is what we call it, doesn't belong in proptech. Well, I would say it does. If we're talking about tech that bridges the gap between technology and the built environment, what better technology can we address than technology that actually helps us do that? And so Contech, as reported in McKinsey last year, construction productivity has grown only 1% in the world versus manufacturing, which has grown 3.6%. That is inefficient. And what it means is that we have a 30% efficiency rate, 15% of the work needs to be redone, significant delays, and average budget overruns of 80%. Does that sound efficient? No, and what we're trying to do is find startups in Contech that will solve that. We're much farther behind what we talk about as proptech, but we're on our way because there are a lot now trying to solve these problems. Let me just show you one quick slide that we work on as a VC. We also do deep data analysis, deep analysis into an industry. This will be small, so you won't be able to see the words. But the principle behind it is what I want to get across. Here's a deep analysis that we did on the construction industry. We looked at the life cycle of construction from design, construction, and completion, and then we looked at the players in that and their engagement in technology in each of those areas. And then we looked at what was generally engaged and what could be better engaged from a technology perspective. You can see that the generally engaged is much smaller than what we can provide more engagement for construction. We take this and we work now with designers, contractors, and owners to try and help them manage this process. There are many inefficiencies in this that I could talk about at another time that we're trying to solve with startups. But what we do is we take this analysis, and I'll end with this last bit thought, is that we take that and for those who are out here today, if you're a design, construction, a startup, or a real estate owner, I want you to leave with some principles that we have learned in that analysis. If you're a design and construction firm, 3 things. Engage with startups. Your business is inefficient. Bring them in, invite them, implement pilots, and integrate that technology. It cannot be just, I think someone said it before, a plaster or a box ticking that you're saying, we're tech. It's not. You need to integrate it into your company. Next, for startups, listen to the end user. We can't talk to startups that say, I've got this great idea. And we say, well, does it solve a real problem? Which is the next one. So does it solve a real need? No, but it's really cool. And if you tell everyone, maybe they'll like it. That's not the way we solve an inefficiencies. You need to solve a problem that will go to their bottom line and collaborate